All right, tomorrow night, Manchester United play Sheffield United. And on paper, this is one of the most winnable games for Manchester United. And that means we're all going to be proper nervous that we're going to fudge it up. Sheffield United come into the back of this game with horrendous, horrific form. The sort of form that sees a manager sacked. But United need this win. United have actually put some serious amount of pressure on the top teams. And with all of those top teams going to be playing each other over the Christmas period, United here have a fantastic opportunity to climb that table. Now then, Chris Wilder, much lauded last season. Not so much this season. It's not really been his season at all. And Sheffield United are struggling. So he brought his three at the back system with overlapping centre-backs to the Premier League last season, and he stuck with it this season, although with far worse effect. And it was always the case, was that we speculated, I wonder if someone's going to figure this out, figure where the weaknesses are for this, and I'm not 100% sure that's why they've had such poor form. I wonder how much of it is down to not having Dean Henderson. I think that's an interesting point to look at. But they've got Aaron Ramsdale in there as first-choice goalkeeper. He has replaced Dean Henderson after 2 years on loan at the club where he was very successful. Chris Basham and John Egan ever-present at centre-back with a third defender often rotated. Wilder has used 6 different players in the third slot this season. Perhaps that's been a source of, I would say, inconsistency, but it's actually been very consistent, and it's been consistently bad for them. Baldock and Ender Evans continue their respective right and left wing-back positions. Sander Berg sits in the middle of midfield with John Lundstrom and John Fleck commonly on either side of him this season. Wilder has also used Ollie Norwood and Ethan Ampadu in recent weeks. McBurney has cemented his starting spot in recent weeks and he should be joined by McGoldrick or Ollie Burke. Ryan Brewster is also an option up front, but he has pretty much failed to impress since the summer move from Liverpool. Let's talk a little bit about the star man that we think it's going to be for Sheffield United then, and that is probably going to be Sander Berg. There hasn't really been a standout player for Sheffield United so far because of how woeful the season has been for them, but summer signing Sander Berg does look a little bit out of place in the fact that he looks at home in the Premier League. Berg's been crucial in keeping things tight in front of the defence and could be the man that's dealt with the task of marking out Bruno Fernandes. He's made 1.4 tackles, 2.7 dribbles and created 1.1 chances per 90 minutes in the Premier League this season while playing as the deepest of the midfield three. United need to overload those central areas and make it a lot harder for Berg to manage, and I've got a bit of a plan on that. So then, just before I give you the starting at 11, here's a quick break to tell you a little bit about SportsBroker. SportsBroker is a new gaming app that allows you to buy virtual shares in football teams. Use your football knowledge to try and buy shares and sell them for a higher price. Prices will change depending on how that team performs on the pitch. SportsBroker take into account more than just the final score with everything from possessions, corners, cards, goals, shots, all having an impact in how your team does. So even when your team loses a match, there might be an opportunity to benefit from any positives in the team's performance. Now, when buying and selling virtual shares in leading football teams, SportsBroker provides you with live stats that give you the action as it happens in play. You also get your own portfolio showing your profit, loss, and equity from your trades. Join SportsBroker now and get a £100 first trade trial. Make your first trade. If your team drops in value after the first match, we'll refund any losses and up to a maximum of £100. You can play straight away by downloading the SportsBroker app via iOS or Android, or you can use their website. The link for that will be in the description below, so make sure to go check it out. It is UK only. You must be over 18 to play, and always, as always, play responsibly. The link will be in the description. So go check it out, SportsBroker, and let's see if you've got the football knowledge to turn it into a profit. So this is the 11 that I would be going with then, and I'm giving Marcus Rashford a rest. Dr. Marcus Rashford, MBE, gets a rest for me. We go with Big Dave in net. As much as I think it would be good to see Dean Henderson return, I just don't see Ollie doing it, so we have gone with Big Dave in net. Going with the back four of Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire and Tellez. As much as, again, I would like to see somebody rotated in that back line, I don't think it's going to happen. The midfield, the engine room. This is where we're going to cause problems for Sheffield United. I've gone with Fred because you're still going to need that energy and industry I've gone with Pogba and Bruno, though, because I do want to see two players that could unpick a lock. I also would not be shocked to see Donny van de Beek feature in the Paul Pogba position in this role. Someone that's a bit deeper and expected to do deeper playmaker role that could also chip in a little bit defensively as they block through midfield. But importantly, the two of them together, two options for creativity. Martial, Cavani, who I think would be very important, and Mason Greenwood would round out the forward three. So how does this team take advantage of Sheffield United's team? Well, we have to overload the midfield. Sheffield United tend to adopt a bit of a man-marking approach to close the space down in between the lines and make it as hard as possible to break them down. A way United can counter this is ensuring that both fullbacks, which I would go with Telles and Wan-Bissaka, regularly overlap. And that's why Telles is in over Luke Shaw, because Luke Shaw just doesn't get into those positions naturally, whereas Telles definitely does. Have them overlapping and push the wingers infield. That's Mason Greenwood, that's Tony Marshall. That's their natural instincts, is to want to push infield. United got a congested midfield area of players to overload Sheffield United's low block, which should create openings and produce a chance for goals. This is where Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes are going to earn their crust. I want to see them ticking. I want to see them moving the ball from left to right and right to left and then back to front. And having someone in the box with the killer instinct of Cavani, that's where Manchester United's quality should start to show. You put the ball in the right areas for Cavani, he puts them in the back of the net. That's how simple it is. The other thing that United need to be wary of, cautious of, and make sure they deal with is tactical flexibility. Now, plenty of managers have faced Sheffield United and failed to make that low block crack, although they've been successful with the final result this season by changing systems mid-game. United need to be able to do that. United can do that. We could also start the game fantastically, open them up, and be deadly. But let's be real, if United are going to do something like that, it'd be a shock to us all. United's initial system doesn't work. If United's initial system doesn't work, it's very likely to be because it's going to be an extreme low block, and any changes that are going to have to be made need to be the sort of changes that are going to force our hand against that back five. Someone like bringing Juan Mata in, disposing of Fred and being a bit cavalier with the midfield would also be another option. But we want his good passes of the ball. That's why Pogba and Van der Beek are in there rather than two functional midfielders like McTominay and Fred. You can do this against Sheffield United. They pose a threat, but not a quaking, terrifying threat that United need to be so wary of that we can't just turn up there and really start sticking it on them. And that's what I need us to do. We need to be able to get in behind any space that we can create, which does often appear in a back three. And you need to make sure that the wingers and fullbacks are working together to overlap that back line. But more importantly, the players that are in front of the box, your Cavani, your Bruno, your Pogba, that's where the quality is going to start to show, and that's where the cracks can start to appear when playing a back three. Of course, United need to make sure we're good at set pieces, because this is where United have struggled against teams like this in the past. And as much as I'd love to say this is a foregone conclusion and something that United can definitely go up and turn, it's also definitely a place that United could drop points. I would like United to be as professional as possible in picking up a win. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Let me know your thoughts and your predictions, and make sure you're checking out SportsBroker. The link for that is in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Laters.